Hello, YouTube. How are we going? I was actually going to do a podcast recording today, but I got super busy. And so here we are doing our live. It looks a little bit. Should have cleaned my camera beforehand. 2 seconds. There we go. Let's turn this up. Just come back from a food shop. Why isn't this working? Very temperamental this. Anyway, let's get started. How are we going? This is, as always, mostly inspired by my clients, everything that I bring here on my YouTube lives. And what I think I'll do is I'll set up my TikTok live as well while we're starting here. But I'm really going to speak about, and a conversation I had with one of my clients today is what do we do if it feels like what we're trying to achieve isn't working? If it feels like we're doing things or it feels like it's not enough, what do we do if we are feeling this? And if you're coming here and you're watching live, let me know if this is you. But one of the things that I told my client today is sometimes we, as high achieving, I work with high achieving, ambitious women. They have big goals. They're driven by huge things. They have big visions for their life. And so often what happens, what I see with high achievers and ambitious women is they have these big goals and they keep working at it and doing all the things and doing the inner work, which is going to flow out into all areas of their life. But then they fail to self-reflect on how far they've really come. It's really, really easy to get caught up. And let me know if this is you, but it's really, really easy to get caught up in achieving things and ticking things off our list and feeling really good. Oh my God, look at the progress I'm making. Look at the progress I'm making, but not really settling in it, especially and anchoring into it. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Anchoring into it, especially when it feels like things aren't really there yet. It's like you can recognize there's progress and things have definitely changed. Like I said, this is inspired by one of my clients, and she knows this. She can look at her life and she can completely say things have changed, things have shifted big time, but she is failing to anchor herself in the gratitude and appreciation by how much is happening, because right where she is, her 3D physical reality, even though it's showing change, it's not the change that she has for a long-term vision. But this goes back to, and I just did a live about this as well a couple of days ago, about long-term vision and longevity. I see a lot of people just wanting quick wins. I see a lot of people just wanting this instant gratification, just so I can get that dopamine hit, just so I can feel really, really good. And it's oh, I've ticked something off, but that's not sustainable. This is why a lot of people have the fear instilled that things that they achieve aren't maintainable or they can't maintain it. So why bother going after it, or why bother putting time and energy behind it? And when we have that mindset, when we have that belief, then we're always going to be only searching for things that are going to give us the instant wins. This is why people who don't play the long-term game end up burning out, end up giving up, end up throwing in the towel, end up just feeling like this isn't for me, I can't do this, whatever it may be, a business, a career, a relationship. It's because we haven't looked at the long term. And so what do we do if we're feeling like this? If it's we can reflect, and if you're watching this, you're probably someone, you've been doing the inner work, you've been doing the personal development, you've been working on your business or career, you've been working on your relationships, your money. And you can recognize things have kind of started to change, or you're seeing in the 3D physical reality things changing, but it's not where you want to be right now. So what do we do? Number one, we need to get really crystal clear on what our long-term vision is. I told my client, I'm going to say this to you, long-term vision, 12 to 24 months. Yes, we can look at the next 5 years, 10 years, but right now, at time of you watching this live or replay, is look at the next 12 to 24 months. You want long term, but you want to strip it back so it's really digestible. Where do you actually see yourself, even if you feel like you can't connect to that right now? It's you can connect on it on a spiritual, energetic level, where it's you feel it in your bones. And maybe it's being able to earn enough money so you can take your partner out to dinner once a month and not stress about it. Maybe it's being able to book a vacation or a holiday once every quarter and not have to budget. Maybe it's finally getting your dream car. Maybe that's a Range Rover or a BMW, or I don't know, a Porsche. And start to sink and anchor into that is connect to that vision. You can feel in your bones that's what you truly desire, But right now, because your reality isn't showing that you're any closer, it feels kind of hard. And so, like I said, the first thing, connect to your vision, connect to what you are actually working towards, not just like a quick money win right now or a quick validation at our work or a job, but what's the long-term vision? Number two, what are the patterns that you are starting to repeat that are keeping you exactly the same? As my client was talking to me inside of Voxer today, she's one of my mastermind clients, which, by the way, Will Mastery Mastermind, Woman Mastery, is open for applications for an end of May, start of June beginning. All of the details are in the show notes below. This is a 4-month mastermind. It's all about elevating your success and your fulfillment in your career or business, your relationships, and your wealth through subconscious programming. And so when you reprogram your life, when you reprogram your subconscious, you reprogram your life. And so this client has come from my mastermind. And another thing that I've said to her is getting very crystal clear on what the self-sabotaging patterns are happening and are occurring. Because we can find ourselves in this place of like, oh yeah, like things are good, but like I'm overwhelmed or I'm stressed or I'm frustrated or I'm not seeing the money yet or I'm not seeing this yet. And that is, we're actively seeking to play back into an old belief system. And when we play back into an old belief system, we then start to play into the same old behaviors. We then start to play in the same old patterns. And then we start to see the evidence like, oh, this isn't working, or I'm not going to make this money, or things are really hard. Rather than, and this is why my Woman Mastery Mastermind follows the framework of Woman Mastery, which is phase 1, subconscious reprogramming, phase 2, identity shifting, and phase 3, regulating to a brand new capacity. When you go through all of these, you will master your life as a woman. And so I asked my client, like, oh, I need you to get very honest with yourself of actually what patterns of behavior are playing into your old identity that is seeping through your current life, that are keeping you in the same patterns to revert you back to where you once were. This client has gone from not knowing her purpose to jumping into something that is purpose-driven, inspiring to her. It excites her. It ignites her creativity. She's making money from this as well. And yet today she came to me and she was like, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling stressed. I'm not seeing the amount of money that I want to yet, or like I didn't implement any self-boundaries. And so when this starts to happen, when we get everything that we ask for, we then need to say, well, hey, somewhere in my body and my mind and my soul, it doesn't feel safe. So we're actively seeking out subconsciously the things to keep us back into old patterns. So if you find yourself making a change, but you're still repeating old patterns, that's what's happening. So needing to become consciously aware. There's one thing to be self-aware, but consciously aware is like, this is why I'm doing this, or this is what I'm afraid of. This is the fear coming up. And now this is how I'm going to move forward. Thank you for all the likes on TikTok. And then the third thing that I want you to get in alignment with when you feel like things aren't working in your favor is just stopping and taking a breath, stopping and just allowing yourself. And it's not like stopping, like let's relax and do nothing and procrastinate. It's just like dropping into your body, anchoring into your body, and doing that several times a day. When things are feeling overwhelming, I always say, if you feel overwhelmed, you need to just stop. If you're feeling stressed, it's a time management issue. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, just stop, drop into your body, see where there's tension. Doing things like EFT tapping, there's the short version, which is like this point, and this point, and just like speaking something like, I love and accept myself. I love and accept my journey. I love and accept the place that I'm in, and going through that for 30 seconds to just help your body anchor back to where you are. Too many people are trying to chase these results, but they can't anchor to where they are right now and connect with who they are. If you can't connect to who you are right now, what makes you think that you deserve the version of you that you're working towards? And that's the thing you need to ask yourself. That's the thing I get my clients to ask themselves. Hydration break. So if you feel like things aren't working, but you're like, technically I am working towards a lot, technically I am doing things, I want you to look at these three things that I quite literally, this is fresh, I gave to my client today, like 2 hours ago. So like you're hearing it fresh off the press, to go and implement and integrate. That is the most important thing that I say with everything I share on this channel, is make sure you go and integrate anything that I share with you and start to see the shifts and the differences. Anyway, it's time for me to go prep dinner. I appreciate all of you. I am going to probably record a solo podcast tomorrow. So stay tuned, but I will see you tomorrow.